Hello, welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Todd Anderson.
We got Kyle in the booth. Say hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Damn it!
I know.
I just
He lobbed it.
you did it on purpose.
He lobbed it.
Okay.
That was him.
All right. What are we doing today?
Okay, we are continuing our tour through the Coliseum of Randomness. Did not.
Work on it.
That's what they called it the first time. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
They the wheel did not treat me particularly well in round one, having to play Pursto Paladin against Jund. But we got 4 other decks. We got 2 other matches I can win.
Yeah.
Save the marbles.
I'll say this: if you had gotten the Pursto Paladin deck against like 2 or 3 of the other decks that weren't Jund, I think you're actually favored. I think that deck is real good sometimes.
Yeah, but I got Jund was
Yeah,
the
you got Jund. You got Junded.
So with 4 decks, we line them all up with a color here. So the color of the arrow here will correspond to the color of the deck, and then we'll roll according to the outside of this wheel.
Yeah. So
with
the pointer you're getting pointed at right now by that one. So you can spin first.
What do we get?
I'm really glad Commander Versus made this thing. This is tight.
Yeah, it was really convenient because we decided to do this without knowing that this wheel existed.
Yeah, and then one day we just came here and it happened.
Okay,
you're green.
green.
You got a 4. All right, hold that side.
Looks
I
like
am
a
yellow. All right.
So that gets you deck 1.
All right, and let's show the hand cams what we're playing, and then we won't show each other what we're playing. There. Let's get some of these.
You got to hold it up, Ross. Okay.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
And as always, if you have any questions, make sure to get them in the Twitch chat at SCG Tour. When Kyle has some downtime between putting decks on Cardboard Live or the other things he does behind the scenes, he'll be picking and choosing his faves. Don't have to be a question, though. It can be a comment, such as, man, Ross salty, or, man, Todd seems like he's in a real bad mood today.
Or, man,
Man, you look
Ross
tired.
seems like a really good guy.
Yeah, Ross, man, you look tired. Like, how are you supposed to respond to that? You ever get those? Bad days when you get those.
Yep. To be fair, most of the time I am tired.
Sure.
So I usually just respond with it. Yep.
True dat. You have correctly assessed my state of being.
Yes.
All right. Well, I won match 1 pretty handily with Jund against the Pursto Paladin deck. So Ross does get to be on the play this round if he so chooses.
And I do.
Okay,
No.
cool.
No 8 rack yet.
All right, we'll try to get him in best of 5s here, unless game 1 takes a super long time. Then we may pivot to best of 3. But we had a pretty short first match, and we got extra time for once, even though we did a best of 5.
Yeah. Pursto Paladin will do that. This is not a good hand. We're going to send this one back.
Can I mention bobble myself before I mulligan to see what the time card is? This hand might be dope. I've seen lands. I'm gonna mulligan though. I think we can just do better on 6. All right, would have got there, but oh well. Anything for us while we're just shuffling here? Just kind of.
Yeah, I got a generic one from
Yes.
earlier I wanted to save.
Too bad.
If you both were
Burn.
playing this weekend, what would be your choice for Barcelona?
Ross playing is at Phoenix for the rest of time. Just have you met him? Have you seen this? You hear about this?
Yeah.
How many Crackling Drakes are going to be in your deck?
1,
All right. How many Aria Flame?
2,
How many Flame Slash?
2.
Nice. All perfect answers, except for the Crackling Drake part. But
Drake's really good against Azorius and Jund.
it's not that good against Horus. They just play Narset and Teferi Time Raveler.
Narset's pretty easy to deal with.
I mean, you say that, and it sometimes is.
Yeah,
but
Aria and
not if your Arias get killed or countered or whatever. Whatever. All right. Well, my 7 has 3 Mox Opals, so we know which ones are going back. The whole hand. Because I can only pitch one of those.
I started on 2 5-landers.
Okay. So you playing like a 30 land deck over there? Mr. Primeval Titan Amulet Bloom? So Ross sent me the 6 decks we were playing yesterday in the roulette. I forgot all of them. I remembered Saram and I remember Jund. I do not remember the next 4. I assume that there's probably Azorius Control somewhere. I know the deck in my hands. And then probably, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on the other 2 because I don't want to spoil the surprise for the last match. Well, we're going to keep it even though it's not good. Story of my life, I know.
Can't mull, can't win.
Yep.
The best hands.
We're going to put back 2 lands since we have 2 lands already besides those 2. Okay. Here we go. Oh, you're first.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think these are the 2 I want to put back. It's close, though.
Well, that's good because you already put them on bottom.
That's the turn.
Blood Crypt. That could be anything. Could even be Jund. Draw a card. Your turn. Am I getting Faithless Looting Hogact here? Playing Dredge?
Am I just supposed to go for it? I don't think I have a lot of time against what is clearly Grixis Urza because of Bridge, so I think I just have to go for it. So let's play a Neonate.
Okay.
Pitch Vengevine.
Okay. Whiff! You lucky duck. You lucky duck.
I will get an Overgrown Tomb in case I draw a Satyr Wayfinder and attack for 4.
All right, so you are at what?
So
17?
I'm at 17. You're at 16.
Okay.
You're up. Carrion Feeder can be an interesting one against Bridge if Todd is able to only get it down with 1 card in hand. You can attack and then sacrifice things after declaring it. Get a little extra damage in. Hallowed Fountain. That took place at Hallowed Fountain.
I guess, man. Sideboard contains Teferi, Time Raveler, and Wear Tear. I think the main deck has a Time Raveler as well. Just to be clear, Ross literally posted every list, so.
Cast a Bloodghast, sack it to Carrion Feeder, play land, return Bloodghast. Attack for 6.
10.
You can go.
I will play land, play a Psy, play Mox Opal Trigger, get a Thopter. Do we have tokens?
Yeah, they're in the box.
Okay. I'm going to make a token and be done.
I guess the random decks kind of.
Random decks did throw off the tokens.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll get them. Where's Nick Miller? Oh, he's in here somewhere, I'm sure. Oh no, you got the non-Nick Miller ones.
Oh, they're both in there.
Okay, all right. I'm sure he was about to be mad.
He would let us know too.
All right, what's up?
You got 3 cards in hand?
Yep, 3 cards.
So I can present lethal and force a block, but Sai can easily block this Bloodghast. Oh, well, I guess we force a block with the Thopter this way. So let's just hard cast our creatures. I guess we can. I don't know how many counters I want to immediately put on Carrion Feeder because of the threat of Bridge. Another issue is the size just creates a bunch of chump blockers for it. So I could sacrifice the Vengevine and get another counter because I'm casting 2 creatures here.
I think you should. Just easily gets it up to 4 for side not being able to block it.
So let's do that. So we'll sack this, play the creatures, return. Todd's at 10, so the Bloodghasts have haste. So let's attack for 11.
Okay. So if I block Bloodghast, that one's just going to get eaten to 4. So blocking this and this is exactly the same. So we'll block the Carrion Feeder and take 6.
Yeah. So we'll.
Sack there.
You have how many cards you said?
I have 3 cards.
Trying to think about what happens with the Whir of Invention for Bridge. You're going to need another. You're going to need to put another card out of your hand to. Anyway, so I'll sack that Bloodghast.
Okay.
So you're at 4.
Okay.
You're up.
I will play my land. Got to fetch to
3.
3.
It's an Urza.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
It's all right.
And we got a
It's not that big
Matthias.
though. That's only a
3/3.
3/3. And so go.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah, that should be 3, right?
Yep.
3 blockers. Whew.
Yeah, Ross getting the turn 2 Vengevine when he needed the peel really sucked for me because my hand was not super fast. We had the Opal, but didn't have a good way to turn it on turn 2, so we couldn't play Psy.
But I think if I wait until turn 3 there, to have a better chance of hitting it, I don't win that game.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah,
saying. I
you
mean,
said
I
turn.
think you were right to go for it. Your draw was a little too fast for me to handle.
Yeah.
I needed to draw like a couple of kind of medium artifacts in the meanwhile there, and I did not. It's okay.
Carrying feeder, putting in some work there as well.
Yeah, card's obviously very strong. The bridge from below was its main fuels, but it's still fine with all the other creatures just doing normal stuff.
Yep.
All right, I'll be on the play here for game number 2. Just take a look at my opener.
Like the fact that the Bridgevine deck was so powerful meant that you didn't actually see the power of Carrion Feeder that often.
Mm-hmm.
In this version, you're going to see that come up, where you're just getting a lot of value sacrificing your recursive creatures.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna keep this opener.
Keeping 7, that's lucky. This is another 5-lander.
Nice. How many lines are in the deck?
19, I think, but one of the Dryad Arbor.
Sure.
Might
Yeah.
be 18.
The Dryad Arbor being able to fetch up and convoke the Hogak is pretty nice.
Yep.
All right. Any questions while Ross is shuffling?
Some people, I think, were just talking about a way that you might have survived that turn. That's about it.
What were you going to do?
I don't know. I had 1 mana. I guess I could tap some of the artifacts for. Oh yeah, I could have tapped the Astrolabe and the Mox for mana and cast Acre Wellspring.
Yeah.
I'm just dumb. Just me being dumb. That's my fault. You right?
Urza's got a lot of text.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sure if I'd played 200 matches with this deck, probably be a lot better with it. But as it stands, I'm just a resident noob.
Todd's leaving in 3 weeks. He's just phoning it in.
Look, they asked me to show up because Corey's at the Pro Tour, and I thought, man, he sure is way better than me.
Okay, this is definitely a keeper, and we just have to decide which one we want to send back. And I think it's just one of these. They're usually pretty bad in multiples.
I'm gonna bobble myself.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep that one, I think. Astrolabe draw, go bobble draw. If I knew Ross was on Hogak, I mulled my first 2 hands last round had turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely a good one. So I'm going to fetch shock to 17, and we'll start on good old Faithless Looting.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice to start on looting in this deck because you want to play 2 creatures in turn 2 for Vengevine. Sets it up nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Let's discard Fatal Push and Gravecrawler.
All right. Well, that was a great draw. I'm gonna fetch Snow-Covered Island, play Mindstone into Cage. Your turn. I'm at 19. Your turn. Here you go. Here you go, Ross. Sure. Well, you're just gonna mill over, irrelevant stuff, and then you're gonna fetch Dryad Arbor and play Hogak. Right?
You can go. Definitely need to draw a Hogak at this point.
Just keep fetching up basics. I don't want to deal myself too much damage in case he just gets a lot of chip damage in with these small creatures.
You also have the Astrolabe, so your
Yeah,
mana's
yeah.
pretty good.
Exactly. So
So you're at 18.
we'll go Goblin Engineer. I'm going to go get Sword of the Meek, and I'll play Thopter Foundry. Your turn. Yep. 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 Moving on to sideboards
You're up.
or draw of turn. All right, we'll shock.
Go to
16.
16.
Oh, make
Yeah,
five
I'm very
1/1s. Make 5 1/1s and
Another reasonable hand there on my part, being able to turn to that Vengevine and dig towards Hogak, but Cage is a good one.
sure is. You know, move sideboards or not?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do like a 2-minute break here. We'll just get sideboards put together. Don't go nowhere. Be right back.
And welcome back here to sideboarding with Hogak versus, what are we calling this thing?
Grixis
Four color
Four
Urza.
color Urza, because it has
Sure.
white. Yeah. I thought that might be
Sure.
the case. On my side, pretty straightforward sideboarding. There's a question of how many disenchant effects I want. You know, because of War of Invention, these decks usually don't play a ton of things that you need to disenchant, so you don't want to draw a lot of them yourselves, but you definitely want the first one. I've decided to bring in 3 claims and then the shenanigans and trophies. The trophies are very nice because they also handle Urza and Sai or Thopter Foundry in addition to Grafdigger's Cage, so I definitely like those. And then the shenanigans being recursive is really nice.
Mhm.
And then we're bringing out Neonate, which I think is the weakest enabler in the deck. The Dark Blast is pretty non-functional here. You can usually trim some number of recursive creatures. I think Gravecrawler is the worst because it's not that good in multiples. And I'm only trimming 1 push because I do think it's very important for me to be able to kill Psymaster, Thopterist, and Urza.
Mhm.
And so I'm leaving in 2 trophies and 2 pushes to help do that. Numbers here could certainly be tweaked, but those are numbers that make sense to me. So that's what we're going with.
Okay. I'm still kind of waffling on some things. I kind of want to keep my artifact count pretty high, the cheap ones anyway, just so I can make sure I always turn on Mox Opal. Pirate Spellbombs are in the deck just to be like cheap artifacts that can act as removal later on as the game progresses. Spine of Vish Saw seems pretty expensive. The 1 Teferi Time Raveler main deck, not super good in this matchup. Bouncing Hogak might be worthwhile though, so I'm kind of not hating it the more I think about it. Maybe I should do this. Cut these 2 for these 2. Pit Needle basically only names Carrion Feeder or Insolent Neonate, and neither of those is a great hit. Spine is going to be just like a super duper expensive removal spell, doesn't do much. We're actually just going to bring in a Sai and a Teferi Time Raveler just to bounce Hogak, but I don't think it's that good or
I
anything.
decided to bring in the last claim.
Sure.
We need to kill Brage too.
Oh yeah,
Important.
yeah. Bridge very good. All right, any questions from chat?
Not at the moment.
All right. So Ross, how did you do this weekend? Your team was what? Jim and
Tannen.
Tannen Grace.
Yeah. Not a good open for us. Just Tannen didn't like his legacy deck. I didn't do that well in the open. I threw 1 match away, got 8 outed in another one. Both of those kind of hurt. But top 16 the classic. Kept playing mono blue all weekend.
All right. Are you still liking mono blue in the near future for standard?
Yeah. You know, everyone's playing a bunch of Ceratops, but I didn't have a lot of trouble with them. At least the first one. The second one is a problem.
I know Autumn was playing a light black splash, just 8 black dual lands for Noxious Grass.
Yeah, that requires cutting Tempest Djinn and playing the Pirate build with Brineborn Cutthroat
Yep.
as like your heavy hitter.
I don't actually hate that. Brineborn Cutthroat was really good when I was playing with it. And also just gives you another pirate for
Dispersal.
but yeah, look out Dispersal.
Yeah, that I've seen that list. It could be good. Tempest Djinn is kind of messed
I
up though.
know.
A lot of matchups where attacking in the air with your heavy hitter is important. Okay, I'm on the play here for game 3.
I'm gonna keep a weird one.
And how good is this hand going to be? I think it's good enough to keep, but we're definitely really relying on this Faithless Looting.
Okay, I'm keeping.
Okay, Fetch Shock, Player Looting.
All right, here, 17.
Good ones, please.
Do you need good ones for hand or good ones for graveyard?
Those were good. Discard 2 blood gas.
Oh. Go.
And I will Fetch Shock again, get Overgrown Tomb. So I am at 14.
That's what I got.
Play Satyr Wayfinder.
Now that's a newer addition to the deck that just kind of helps you at lands, but the green ability on it lets you convoke Hogak while putting up to 4 cards in the graveyard because you actually don't have to keep the land, which is pretty cool.
Definitely the key addition post Bridge ban.
Yeah. So top 4.
And
you have a Hogak?
oh yeah.
I think I'm dead.
Was hoping to hit a Vengevine there to recur, but can't get everything. Just 13 power on turn 2.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. All right. That's 8. That's 13. I can play this. I had like turn 3 War for Thopter Sword. I'm just not even close to fast enough. Okay.
But you can't War for Bridge.
If I draw a 0, I can.
Yeah.
It's fine. All right.
Play land, Flashback Looting.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a disenchant anyway, though. But
You might think that.
I do think that.
Attack for 13.
Yep. I'm at 7.
So you can go.
Draw.
Thinking that's bad for me.
I just have whir, and I'm trying to figure out if there's like what I can whir for to not die. Because I can just like make some blockers and block 3 things, but I have to lose basically everything. I think I have a 0. I'll just look through my deck real quick. Just to double check. Discount double check. So I can tap this and get Astrolabe and draw a card, but I have no mana. No, Spell Bomb doesn't do anything. Crafter's Cage doesn't do anything. Okay, I'm dead.
Okay. It's good because my hand was all lands.
It's fine. I was just literally. I mean, I could literally just sacrifice 2 artifacts, go to 9, and still be dead because Hogak has trample.
I was finding a claim off my Flashback Looting, so we had Bridge beat.
You had a second flashback looting?
Yeah, I milled one off the Wayfinder.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's another good part of Wayfinder. I had a Wayfinder in one of my builds for the like initial Hogak decks because it seemed like it fit pretty well. But honestly, you just didn't need it. The deck was way too powerful without it.
Yeah.
And it just cost 2, which is too much. 2-mana spell is just too much. All right, what you got for me?
How do you feel? This is from Ravenlord. Any thoughts on Dead of Winter in these Urza decks?
That actually seems like a pretty nice sideboard idea. Game 1 you can rely on Ensnaring Bridge pretty easily, but they have a lot of most decks have like some number of disenchants, so they're worse. And having Dead of Winter to just sweep the board on turn 3 doesn't seem too bad at all, especially with Astrolabe.
I'm just not sure how much it's doing on turn 3. You're not going to have more than 2 or 3 snow permanents out by then, right?
Right.
Maybe like max 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna keep another risky one, but I think we have a lot of outs here. So
A lot of outs has been called.
well, I mean, I also have a way to just slow the game down, so pretty happy about it. Ross like, I kept my hand with perfect turn 2 Hogak and 2 disenchants.
Well, the actual keep was Faithless Looting, Bloodghast, Hogak, 4 lands.
Well, that'll do.
Yeah, I think this one's solid.
18. Your turn.
I will go to 17 for Blood Crypt.
My turn.
Yep.
Let's go to 16. Play Goblin Engineer. And I think I'm gonna get Mox Opal because I kind of need mana, and I can like play a kind of a mediocre artifact from hand and then trade it up for it. Trade it out for the Opal.
You can also get Wellspring, start drawing cards, and hit your mana that way.
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm at 17.
I think I
you're
just
at
need the
16.
actual mana though. Your turn. We'll see. This could be a mistake.
I'll go to 15 and Shenanigans the Cage.
Okay.
Attack for 1.
Block.
Menace.
Just kidding. I know.
15 all.
So,
Actually, should I hold on? Because of the Goblin Engineer sitting there, I probably have to wait on that and probably have to do this instead. That is gross. But
all right, I'm gonna get Wellspring, so then you have to kill the Goblin Engineer. How about that?
I think I have to do it anyway because if I Shenanigans this, you just get it back.
That's true.
Any artifact. Okay.
Okay.
Trophy the Goblin Engineer.
I'll do the Mox Opal like I originally did. It's fine. All right, go get a snow-covered island. My go?
Yep.
Okay.
So
And
we-
you're at 15?
Yeah, 15 all.
Okay.
You're good.
Drop. Astrolabe.
Yep.
Trigger. Go.
1 in hand.
Yep.
Say to Wayfinder.
Yep.
Take the Verdant.
Okay.
And play the Verdant. I will sack this.
Mhm.
Discarding a Verdant, draw a card. Just trying to hit Hogak here. I guess we should sack this first and get our Dryad Arbor.
Okay.
So I'm at 14.
Yeah, so you draw Dryad Arbor,
Yeah,
you're
it's
in a
just
lot of trouble.
Disaster. Don't want to do that. So I'm at 14.
Okay.
And draw with the Neonate. And you can go.
Draw for turn.
Yep. Do you have it?
Go to 14.
Yep.
4 for 2.
Yeah. So now, Todd, you can just tap out for this whir. Get. Whatchamawitchit.
Whatchamawitchit?
Yeah.
Thunder Foundry?
And getting the Foundry last with the Urza already in play, like, there's so little you can do to break this up.
Yeah. So now this is in play. We spend 1, sack Astrolabe, make a 1/1. Or sorry, sack Sword of the Meek.
Well, tap that for blue.
Sure. Tap for blue. Sack it.
There's a.
Make a 1/1. It comes back. Now you tap both these for blue. You gain a blue. Do it again, and you gain infinite blue mana. And then once you have infinite blue mana, you can Urza infinity times. And one of the times I will get the Pyrospell Bomb and kill this, and then attack you for 100 billion.
You have to kill that and the Arbor.
Sure. I got 2 spell bombs
God, that's lucky.
in my deck, not in hand, but maybe.
So one thing to note with Cage out, shouldn't have been able to fetch the Dryad.
You
Arbor.
can't fetch a Dryad Arbor. That doesn't come up too much.
I've done it before. Got a nice game loss at Legacy Grand Prix in 2014, or not game loss, but warning in 2014
yeah.
trying to do it.
What's really funny is like they can definitely select Dryad Arbor from a fetch land, and once they do,
Yeah.
you get to remind them that it doesn't come into play.
Yeah, that's the other bad part about that mistake. Yeah. You do strip mine yourself.
Yeah. All right, so 2-1 so far for this deck. That's pretty good. The Assassin Trophy actually helped me out a lot, which was obviously like, you know, it's going to be hard for you to beat recurring Grafdigger's Cage with Goblin Engineer.
Yeah.
So like the way you did it makes sense. It just so happened that the extra mana just let me go a little netso. All
I'm
right.
probably supposed to wait on the trophy and just do it on your end step. Like give you a turn with the engineer in play to you know, rebuy that box opal or something weird.
Sure. I probably should just get the Acre Wellspring to
Yeah.
kind of not force your hand, but make it a little bit harder of a decision. Okay. This hand's all right.
So this is game 4.
Mhm.
I'm down 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it game 5?
That's game 4.
You crushed them with like a turn 2 Hogak. Game 3, I thought.
Wait,
Oh yeah, you're right. This is game 5.
this
Yeah.
is game 5?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
2-2.
Oh, crap.
Um,
All right.
um,
Mulligan. Mulligan again. Honk, honk.
is this a keep?
I don't know, man. So it's for you to find out. For me to
It
know.
is.
All right.
Fetch, get a Blood Crypt, and pass the turn.
All right. Draw a turn. Let's go Arkham's Astrolabe. Here we go.
So I'm at 17.
All right, this is a weird question. I'm pretty positive that this is right, but if I activate this for a mana off of Mind Stone, it makes a snow-colored mana, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I want to know.
Okay, we hit our land, so that's good.
Attack for 1.
So let's pitch a Vengevine,
Crap! I'm dead.
and then play a Carrion Feeder, fetch, get Overgrown Tomb to 14, play a Gravecrawler, and attack for 4.
16.
You can go.
What are you at?
14.
Okay. Hold on. We might actually have a thing going here.
Thing.
So, no, not quite. Next turn we might be going ham, Sammy. All right, let's go Mind Stone. Play this, draw. Okay, here we go.
Cards in hand.
I have 6.
That's a lot.
All my cards have cycled, and I'm on the draw.
Seder Wayfinder.
Sure.
Just get the swamp, I guess. Though. Yeah. Play this Gravecrawler.
Okay.
And do I want to sack anything to get you to 8? I don't think that makes a difference.
Okay.
Yeah, 6, 7. You're a 9.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Draw. Huh. So 7. Players 3. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go to 7. Players make Matthias. Tap these 3. Play Psy. Play Opal, make a 1/1. Play Opal, make a 1/1. Play Sword of the Meek, make a 1/1. So I have 3 1/1s. I still have access to some amount of mana to block and then sack these to draw cards with Psy. And can also sack Sword of the Meek. But can I do some? Let's see. I can tap this and this. and then sack Sword Miller, draw a card, and then if I draw an artifact, it'll come back. I don't think I could have ordered that differently because I had to play the second Mox Opal to get the second mana for the sword.
Yeah.
Okay, your go. These are tapped. These are not.
It's a pretty good turn.
It's turn 3. Ours is messed up. Luckily, these 1/4 bodies are pretty good against the grave crawlers and the Satyr Wayfinder, and we can just use the Nick Miller to chump the feeder and the Vengevine.
Play this Gravecrawler.
Sure. So you can sack a Vengevine, sack a Gravecrawler, cast Gravecrawler, get back Vengevine, which is nice.
And that's what I'll do.
Okay. Everything can attack besides these two. Or besides this one. Excuse me. Okay.
I don't think there's any point in attacking with these Gravecrawlers because Todd's not going to put these into combat against creatures that can kill them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just attack with the 2 Biggins.
Okay. Block with 2 Nicks.
Yeah, make 2 blue.
I'm gonna make 4 blue and then sack these 2 for sure. See what I draw, and then sack this and an Astrolabe to draw another card, and take 0.
You can go.
Not sure if that is necessarily correct, but we had a spot to draw cards. Feel like I should draw cards. And he has a green up. All right, let's see what you got. Don't think anything he does is going to stop it. So, tap this for blue.
You're dead.
second.
I have 3 Nature's Claims, but like anytime I go to claim the Foundry, Todd can just keep going in response.
Right.
Yeah, and put another Sword of the Meek trigger on the stack, and then keep going. So yeah, nothing I can do.
All right. That was turn 4 kill through a really fast start from Ross on the draw, beating a Nature's Claim. Okay, this deck might be real.
Yeah, no, the Urza deck is quite powerful. You know, both Urza and Sai can take over a game by themselves. You have the bridge plan against certain against aggressive decks. You didn't put a bridge into play in all the games and still won this matchup, which is somewhat impressive. You get to play main deck hate cards like Grafdigger's Cage. You have a powerful combo that you can execute as early as turn 3. You know, the only issue, and then Goblin Engineer, which is also a card advantage engine with the one
Acre Wellspring.
with the one Wellspring. So a lot going on here to like. The mana base can be a little wonky because you have all the snow basics,
Right.
But Astrolabe goes a long way towards.
Yeah, it's
fixing
and it's
that.
such a great part of the deck too, because even if all you have is like an Astrolabe and like let's say a Nihil Spellbomb, you can just like keep doing that with Goblin Engineer and just drawing a card coming in, draw a card coming out, and just make sure you have a way to contain the graveyard. This deck I thought was really good when all the graveyard decks were basically top tier because it was able to play main deck Graveyard Hate and War of Invention to find it.
Yeah.
But I still think the old Bridgevine versions were a little too fast for it. But now that they've slowed down a little bit, that gives you time to set up like infinite combos and stuff. And you know, I got a little lucky to assemble the combo in that spot because I drew the Thopter Foundry off the top. But I had like a Goblin Engineer in hand, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't dying on the next turn.
Yeah,
And so I could have assembled a turn after. Plus, I had not only just Thopter Foundry, I had War of Invention is out too. So
Yeah.
a lot of
any artifacts you draw is to keep drawing cards,
Right.
and like you Goblin Engineer just for Ichor Wellspring there, and you can start going nuts with that, and then you can start activating Urza.
Right.
Strongest. So a bunch of different ways to draw cards there. I think I was going to be pretty stymied. I needed to find either removal for one of your creatures or a Hogak to break through,
Mhm.
and was not able to do that.
Do you think it's possible that in that deck you should just stay away from Nature's Claim altogether and just play 4 Assassin's Trophy as a catch-all? Because like you brought in like 9 cards or something like that, and it didn't feel like the Nature's Claims really did anything. Whereas Trophy could have not only killed like an important artifact in a weird spot, but it could have killed one of the creatures, like Sai or Urza. There would have basically stopped me from doing much of anything.
Yeah, I definitely wanted more removal just to play a fair game.
But I kind of think you want your artifact removal to be more of a catch-all, like an Abrupt Decay type
Yeah.
deal. You know.
No, I could definitely see that, because you're not a deck like Dredge, where wall cards like Cage or more particularly Rest in Peace and Leyline, while those are in play, Dredge doesn't really get to do anything. You still get to deploy some creatures and do a little bit of setup, so you can actually take a little bit of time to answer the hate card, kill it on turn 2 or 3 instead of trying to do it immediately if possible. So I don't think it's as important to play the cheapest answers.
Sure.
Because your deck is winning like almost solely through combat, Dredge has that burn plan with Chill and Conflagrate, so you don't have to get through a ton of damage to win the game. Whereas this deck is attacking for 20.
Yeah, that was one of the strongest parts of the Bridge from Below version, was with Altar of Dimension, you didn't actually have to attack to win, and it gave you like this kind of infinite combo with 2 bridges and a Hogak, where you got to mill your entire deck, and then you milled your opponent's entire deck. With this version, like, this is something that I think is still really good, but a more fair approach to the graveyard-related strategy, where you have to use combat to win the game. And Dredge still kind of breaks that rule with Conflagrate and Creeping Chill. So I'm not sold that this deck is actually better than normal Dredge, but it certainly didn't get hurt that badly by the bans as far as like how fast it looks and how fast it comes out the gate. One was a game 3 or 4. Well, you played 2 creatures and a Hogak on turn 3 and had like 13 power and a Vengevine or something.
On turn 2. Didn't hit the Vengevine.
Or turn 2, yeah. No, there was a game where you had a Vengevine too, I thought, and a Hogak, like super early.
That game I had Wayfinder and 2 Bloodghast, and after the turn 1 looting, and then the Hogak for 13 power.
Sure. So really strong starts, but just really consistent fast draws from the Urza War deck. Looked really impressive there. I'm not sure, like I'm not intimately familiar with this archetype yet. I do like all the little moving pieces and stuff. It puts Urza Lord High Artificer to one of the best uses it can possibly get, with just like going really hard on the Thopter Sword combo. I mean, you saw there like how insane it was. Like on turn 3, I got to play it and Psy Master Thopters and make 3 Thopters on turn 3.
Yeah.
And if I was playing against like a control deck, and let's say they tapped out for Narset on that turn or whatever, like I just get to explode. If they don't have Wrath on their turn 4, like I'm probably just gonna start activating Urza like multiple times a turn. So that's pretty cool. I like this deck.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it.
Does a lot of cool stuff.
Sideboard might use some work. It's a lot of non-artifact stuff, which is weird. A lot of fatal pushes and counter spells and things like that. Like, I was really kind of looking for more graveyard hate, and I don't have it. I guess maybe you don't need it.
You're pretty good against the graveyard decks with just the Cage and Bridge and Spellbomb, and then like Thopter Sword is just a combo that they can't ever beat.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need a ton of graveyard hate, which is one of the benefits of this deck. It is other structural elements embedded into the archetype itself that give it strong matchups against those graveyard decks.
Sure.
In addition to like being able to play them in the main deck and getting a significant amount of edge in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
You were for that Grafdigger's Cage on turn 2 or 3. You're going to win a lot of games in these matchups.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Any questions from Twitch chat before we move on?
Yeah. Tyler Durden wanted to talk about humans.
Yeah.
All right. I think they've asked a couple times, but where's the humans deck, and why is it not getting the respect it deserves as a top 1 or 2 deck in the format?
I mean, I think humans has been getting that respect for a while. It was one of the most successful and played decks at the last Mythic Championship, consistent performer on the SCG Tour. Recently, though, I think it's taken some hits. Lava Dart is a good card that people are playing in Mono Red Phoenix and Izzet Phoenix to stymie the early draws from humans. In particular, a matchup that used to be good in Jund is now turned around because of the addition of Renin 6. We usually beat Jund with humans by getting underneath them and then using your Reflector Mages to keep their Tarmogoyfs off the table long enough to kill them. And you got underneath them by either making their removal really expensive or by just flooding the battlefield with enough cheap creatures that they couldn't keep up, even if they were costing their playing their removal at regular cost. Wrenn and 6 gives them the ability to stick a permanent that's going to deal with 2, maybe even 3 different things when you're flooding the battlefield with cheaper creatures, a lot of which have 1 toughness. And if you're trying to tax their removal spells and make them cost more, then you're doing it with Thalia, which dies to Wrenn and 6, and Wrenn gives them extra lands to help play through that.
Yeah.
If you get down Thalia and immediately put a counter on it with Lieutenant or something like that to stop it from dying to the Wrenn, they still get a consistent flow of land drops to make sure they don't stumble. So you're not getting those any free wins when they stumble against it, and that they're able to kill some of your earlier creatures, which is usually what's laying around to do the last few points as they're killing your more important threats. So that matchup turned around. Jund has gotten more popular.
Death Shadow's non-existent. Death Shadow was a good matchup.
Yep. So there's some small things that have made humans worse, I think, now than it has been in the last few months. But it's still one of the decks that I would be expecting to play against multiple times in the Mythic Championship or this weekend in Columbus. So, and probably one of the 5 decks that I have most on my mind when I'm thinking about tuning my own list.
Sure. I'll say this. I think that this is going to be the breakout weekend for a 4-color version of humans. Maybe still plays a 5th color for the sideboard or something, but I think that Unsettled Mariner is significantly better than anyone has given it credit for. And with people going back to playing a really fair strategy, or a bunch of fair strategies, taxing your opponent's removal, taxing their ghost quarters, their hand disruption for just a 2-mana 2/2 body is nuts.
Yeah. Taxing their burn spells. That there are uninteractive decks like Mono Red Phoenix and Burn where you play a Mariner.
Gut shots don't. I mean, you have to pay an extra for your gut shots and your love darts and everything, and it just really adds up. And it's just another thing that's kind of annoying to play against as the opponent. And when you get enough of those kind of annoying elements all working together, it's like the same reason why Kitesail Freebooter has been in the deck for forever. It's like it combined with Meddling Mage is really, really annoying because it shuts off like one of their removal cells, and then you Meddling Mage the other one, and then it's like a house of cards. And if one piece falls, usually you can get back in the game. But with Unsettled Mariner, it's ubiquitous. It doesn't care what your opponent's playing, unless they're just completely gold fishing against you. Whatever they're trying to do to stop your stuff, they're going to have to pay an extra 1. And that sometimes is too much.
Yep. You're just consistently getting value off of it. The freebooters and the Meddling Mages, sometimes they have a different removal spell, or you name the wrong card, or anything.
I just think freebooters always sucked. And I've always hated that card. I just think it's a great addition to the deck over that.
I'm a big fan of Unsettled Mariner myself. So if you're a humans pilot, I would implore you to try that card out. I agree. I think it comes at the expense of Kitesail Freebooter, which does even help your mana base out a little bit. And just a really powerful ability that is, I think most people, and I'm including myself in this, assumed that card just taxed things that target your permanents or your creatures.
Taxes stuff that targets players.
Targeting you, like taxing the stuff that targets you as well, like discard spells, burn spells, gifts ungiven.
Grape Shot. Pretty sure. I'm not 100% how it works with Grape Shot, but I'm pretty sure it counters Grape Shot.
Yeah, because it's a trigger. Well, it's a trigger when it's cast, right?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I'm not 100% on the wording. I just know that it's really it's taxing on things to target player, and I think whatever. We'll get into the semantics about it at some other time. It's not really that important. Any more questions?
How do you feel about Feather breaking into Modern?
In Modern?
Dromoka's Command Feather?
One, you're building your deck around a 3-mana 3/4 creature. It survives Bolt. Good for you. That's actually a reasonable size, but building your deck around a 3-mana card, so like the turn that your engine is going to be online is turn 4.
Yeah,
that's slow. 2, your engine isn't one that's going to take over the game. Your engine is some way to just like gain a lot of card advantage. That in Modern, a format where people are just trying to kill you, I'm also not a fan of. So,
not to interrupt, sorry,
no
but I went back up and found the question. How do you feel about Feather just slotting in something like a Prowess deck?
Still not sold.
Well, the Prowess decks, Feather is a card that requires you to target your own stuff, and if you're casting like a scale up on your own creature or an assault strobe on your own creature, like you're killing them that turn most of the time. or you're doing it like in a 1-2 punch and crossing your fingers that your opponent has nothing. At no point would I ever want to return a scale up to my hand with a feather. It's just not something I desire. I desire my opponent to die. And a 3/4 creature that flies is not really a part of that equation. Now, with that said, I think Feather is an insanely good card for Standard because A, you have more time to just kind of deploy things in Standard in general, and B, usually the removal is a little weaker, and so like it is more likely that you have the ability to get to turn 3 or 4 and have a creature survive. And Modern, either you're dead on turn 3 if you're not interacting, a lot of the times, or virtually dead. You don't have to always be dead.
Yeah.
Or if you get to turn 4 and your hand's full of like God's Willing and stuff like that. Like I legitimately tried to make a Bant Heroic deck in Modern before because I think Rancor works really well with all of those heroic creatures because it puts counter on it and gives it trample, so you don't have to have like God's Willing to make it unblockable. And I played it in like two leagues or something, and it was trash. And it's just not a type of, like, if you're going to do that effect, Infect is the way to go, or the Prowess creatures and giving them double strike. Like,
Yeah.
and you can't really play like a halfway game. You can't be playing stuff like, was it Boon of Thassa or whatever? Or the card that draws 2 cards.
Ordeal of
Thassa's
Thassa.
Ordeal. Or Ordeal of Thassa. Yeah. That's just not a game plan you can implement in Modern. It's like you're trying to go halfway between being this like degenerate linear combo deck and being this like aggressive deck that has a bit of interaction.
And and you're just worse than other decks that do
Yeah.
either of those things, whether it be humans or mono prowess or infect.
And you're just not really well equipped to play normal Magic, and you're not fast enough to play degenerate Magic.
Feather is definitely a card that is built for Standard, not the kind of card that does modern things, even if it is a very powerful card in Standard.
Now, if they ever make like a pitch spell that's like deal 3 damage to any number of creatures, split any way you want or whatever, and you can go like target Feather for 1 and target your creature for 2, and then it just comes back and like you have to pay life or something. I don't know. There could be a card printed that's free that works with Feather and lets you do some really stupid things. And if that's the case at some point, sure. Like the ability is unique on Feather. Like there are things you can do with it that might be pretty good. But as far as I can tell at the moment, there's nothing I really desirable.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next match. We're gonna get another best of 5 in for sure on the last match, unless the games just take super long, which I don't even know what decks they are. But yeah, we're gonna take a 5er here, get everything set up for that. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back for more Versus Live.